Good morning, Americans and humans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Wednesday, January 3rd, 2023, with a sitting in for Paul Harvey today with a special commentary. And Mr. Harvey, you're up there with the boss, and I know you and the boss would like to make this commentary. Today's commentary, and I hope Mr. Dyson's listening, is about life, existence, and a paradox. You humans, especially Americans, don't have anything for your society. There is no human society here. There's always a hodgepodge of everything you call societies around this planet, but none of them is human, not even the Americans. The Americans are based on power, wealth, exploitation, and whatever you are. That's what the Americans base theirs on. And to give you an example is life itself. There has been no determination on life. What is life? You treat it politic-wise as you do abortion and the right of women. You treat that in a political sense. You don't take it as a societal sense, and you should. You treat it as a political. The Supreme Court treated it political when they overturned Roe versus Wade. Was that a good decision? No, but it was the best you could come up with in 1973. You never bothered to make it better or do a new one. You just decided that, well, there's only two things to this. Yay or nay, and we don't like it? Well, we take it apart. Yeah. Life is more than binary. That's why your ancestors, the Sumerians and their descendants, all through Mesopotamia, used base 60. And that's why their society lasted longer than any society after them, because they used base 60. You, especially Americans, here, you treat life with no meaning at all. And life has meaning. Give you an example. Mr. Gene Roddenberry tried to bring the subject to you guys. I'm surprised that Mr. Twilight Zone himself, Mr. Rod over there, didn't do it, but Gene Roddenberry did. In his Next Generation episode about the time, or what did they call it in that time? The resolution. The resolution. Well, this guy turned 60. They didn't say what kind of 60 he turned. It was, just 60 years old. In his time, the way his race measured time, 60. And, if you make it a arbitrary time like that, well, 60 to humans, is old, right? But 60 to me, which is, I lived 3 times longer. So by the time I'm 20, I have to make a resolution because I'm already old per human standards. See what I mean? You can't make it an absolute mandatory time. But you also have to decide, and there's a lot of people that have issues here in every society, yours, mine, human, reptilian, whatever it is, insectoid, every society of beings have this issue with life. And the life is somewhere along the line, Some people are born here that are not capable of handling this type of existence, life. And there's a difference between existence and life, okay? My stepson was not capable of handling this. And I and my wife were not capable of helping him. Nobody was capable of helping him because there is no such thing here on this planet. And as a stepfather and an alien, I couldn't step in and say, "Hey, Mike, we have to do it this way because." That would be pushing him. He tried to fit in, but his being was not made for this kind of life. There's a lot of people around this planet that have that problem. You Americans called it mental health. Yeah, really. Well, it's not really mental and it's not really health in most parts, okay? It's just a soul that wasn't meant to be here. Therefore, they commit suicide. And that's not 100% of them either, okay? That's just a certain portion that commit suicide that have these issues. Other people just commit suicide because they want to give it up. Suicide right? Well, not really. But, hey, it happens in my society. It happens in all other societies, and we got to deal with it. We try to limit it. For every 1,000 or 100,000 suicides that you have here on Earth, we have one. We didn't have a suicide for a decade of your years. Okay, that's a long time for us, for no suicide. But it happens. Murder happens in mine, suicides. It happens, and no matter how perfect you think your civilization is, this stuff happens. But to life, and the issue at hand, Americans and humans. In that Star Trek episode, the Star Trek crew members were growling, especially Diana Muldaur. Oh, no, pardon me. It was Gene Roddenberry's wife, Majin Barrett, because the friend that she befriended, according to her, was committing suicide. And in his civilization, it got to the point where it was accepted. Was it 100%? I doubt it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have committed the audacious thing of defying it. Okay? But it was maybe 85%, 88% adopted. Just like in your case here, you don't condone abortion. And you want it gone. But you need to really have something of Roe versus Wade back up, because you got women that have this issue and they have to decide themselves, not you decide for them. And when you get a certain age, here, humanity and American, and I live in a senior citizen assisted living community. Are they people who exist here? Yes. Are they people who live here? Yes. Are they people who are just spending time here because they have to wait till their bodies deteriorate to a point where then you have to put them in the hospital and make the decision to pull the plug? Yes. And the problem is, you don't give the people the decision. Remember, your supreme being, as you call God, only gave you one thing, and that was free will. But you don't allow people to exercise free will here. If a person wants to live to 90, 100, and they can make it, with assistance or without assistance, they are supposed to be allowed to make it, with assistance from the state if needed. Yes. But if a person is in such a state where he's sitting in a chair, he can't move his hands, he's got to get fed, he's got to get bathed, he's got to do that, and all he's got is his mind. Perfect example of that would have been Mr. Hawken, who died a few years ago at age 76. Well, he decided to do that, and he lived, and he used his mind. But it cost the state a lot of money for him to do that. It's costing the state some money to keep me here, because they have to help me pay what I have. And here's what I'm saying, Americans. There's a point when you cross in your life from life to existing. And some people don't want to exist. They want the pine box, or they want to be put next to their loved ones that have gone before them. And they should be given that right to do that. And the people who want to live till 95, 100, as long as they can and as long as the states allow, they should have that right too. But you don't give anybody the right. In the case of my wife, the state, as in the doctors, told me that I had to pull the plug because she would not exist anymore. They didn't say life, they said existing, okay? Her life had ended a long time ago when she got sick. So she spent the last 7 years existing and deteriorating. And that is something you don't want to see. And I hope whoever listens to this doesn't have to see that and be the person that has to pull the plug at the end. Because that is not good to do. I had to do it because she was in pain. But also I had to allow time for her loved ones to get, and if I wanted to see her, which, only one did. But that is up to them, and that's not saying they were good, they were bad. That is their decision. But for me, I would always go, when it's my turn, that I had to push that button, and I hope nobody has to do it for me. That's why I got regulations that say if I'm gone and I get cardiac arrest, don't resuscitate me, just let me go. Because it's my time. My time has been borrowed too. It should have been a long time ago. But anyway, and it's really no death for me. It'll be death for Mr. DeGracia here, yes. He's lived a tough life. But for me, as an alien from Ontario, it'll be like only 15 of your seconds have passed. I'll be back on my ship in 2066, and I'll have to make that terrible decision. Do I bring those humans back to Earth? I'll still get clobbered by my superiors. What the hell are you doing and taking them off the planet? Don't you know they're worth nothing? Because as a society, you're worth nothing. Nobody would want you. It would be like spilling your bad seed to other people, and you don't want that. You never learn how to survive and be a good society. Case in point, life and existence. You haven't decided how to handle it yet. We did millennia ago. Is it perfect? No. But it's better off than what you got here. Sitting in for Paul Harvey. This is your favorite alien saying, when I go here, I have to make that decision. And I already made that decision here based on the last 15 years of time that I've been here. Especially the last 7 with my wife being sick. No, I'll return you guys to Earth, ashes to ashes. And your civilization should not be allowed to exist because you got nothing to offer. Good day.